Folks, how you doing? Welcome back. It's Charlie. It is Friday. Friday, we made it. May 24th, 2019. It's Friday, and it is, most importantly, Memorial Day weekend. Oh my God, thank God it's Friday. It's been a long week. Long 2 weeks. I'm really exhausted, and I'm ready to do a whole bunch of nothing and leisurely stuff for the next 2 days. As soon as I get off work, I got errands to run. So, yike. Memorial Day. Time to remember loved ones, friends, families that have served and that do serve for the protection of this great, mixed up, confused, and embattling one itself country. And I say that lovingly. I only know, actually, I know vets, but two personal vets that I know. My brother's father, Paul, stepdad. Paul, he was a great guy. He was when I got kicked out of home the first time. I moved in with my brother Scott, and his stepdad was kind of like my surrogate dad. I've had quite a few surrogate dads, but I remember Paul quite a bit. Try to guide me and Scott in the right direction. He did a great job, and I would love to give a shout out to Mr. Paul Hesser. Paul, thank you so much. You did a lot, and I remember everything you told Scott and I, and even though we were probably stoned, drunk, or tripping on acid, we still remember everything. So, and I still remember everything you said, seriously. And the next one that was probably the closest, that was probably to a father for me, was my Uncle Lupe, my cousin's father. Many a times he was there for me as a little boy. I remember he was, I think the last I remember, he was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, stationed all over the world, all over. I remember stories of my mom saying when they were stationed over in, I think it was North Carolina or South Carolina, when she was younger, and she would tell me stories. And she would tell me the stories of how it was back then. It was still very segregated. She remembers going down the main street and still seeing signs that blacks only, whites only, and a couple of places where they actually would put the N-word only. So Lupe was a really funny guy. I remember he had this crack. His tongue was like really cracked or something. I don't remember. And he always called me Mijo, which is son. So, and he would come home, or if it was like his day off, or he didn't have to go until later to the base, we would play around and wrestle, and he would say, "Hit me." So I'd pretend I would punch him, and he would knock out and stick his tongue out. And I remember the first time I saw it, his tongue was all cracked, and I'm like, "Oh, what happened?" He says, "Oh, you hit me." And I'm like, "Oh my God," I almost started crying. But he would come home in the wee hours, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from base, and he'd come into my room and he'd wake me up. "Mijo, come on, are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we'd go in the kitchen, and he'd make breakfast. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Scrambled eggs and tomatoes. Now, I have asthma. I was born with asthma, had asthma all my life. Sorry about the lighting. So one of the things that I was highly allergic to was tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Not ketchup or anything else, or tomato sauce or anything, but fresh tomatoes. And I would break out in hives, and my eyes would just close shut. And my throat would sometimes start to get swollen. So he would come home and get me up. We'd go to the kitchen. He's making breakfast. Scrambled eggs, onions, and tomatoes. I loved them. Great. Then a few minutes later, my mom would come up and she'd go, "Lupe, what are you doing? You know he's sick. You know he doesn't like, but Carmen, he wanted it. He was hungry." And I would look over at my mom. "I wanted it. I'm hungry." My Uncle Lupe. My Uncle Lupe wasn't a perfect man. Didn't have the most perfect marriage. Sadly to say, they ended up in divorce, but I still remember he was still close to his kids and family, and to uh, the ex Mrs. Lupe, and things were a lot more civil than, well, with my ex and I, that's for sure. But no matter how bad it got between them, they always try to maintain some civility for the children. So, I guess civility's out the door these days. I don't know. Time you turn on the news, something bad's going on. I saw this morning one of the students that helped a shooter. He is posthumously, I think, getting awarded the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star for his bravery and killed in action, which is fantastic. Um, Even though I do have a problem with some young people, especially on the buses, uh, some young people are selfish, but for the majority, most young people nowadays uh, do seem to have a little more compassion, a little bit more level-headed than some of the older adults, which tend to fly off the handle at any given moment. But, oh well. Memorial Day weekend. It's beautiful. Look, remember yesterday it was kind of like all cloudy. It was really gray. It was cold. It was a cold ride home. In fact, I thought I was gonna get sick because after I got home and turned on the heater, I was kind of chilly, and I'm like, wow. But here it's a beautiful day, and it's supposed to be a great weekend too. I think. I hope at least. I'd also like to say thank you. Thank you for all your comments and everything. I was just in McDonald's having my coffee and my cup of oatmeal, and I was trying to catch up on some of your comments. And Jeremy, God, I hope I don't butcher your name. Jeremy's been watching for a while now. Keller, Jeremy Keller. If I butchered your last name, I apologize. But this is what I like, and it's you folks that keep me in check. Tell me whether I'm doing wrong or right, whether I said something wrong or said something right. So he commented on Halfway There video. Your channel and others have changed my perception of homelessness and people who become homeless, and how they can progress. Governments just need to get with a variety of dignified transitional housing suitable for different subcommunities. True. And more long-term residential community mental health and addiction services. As you say, the money is there. When I was reading that this morning, I was, having my breakfast. I kind of got choked up because it's just an affirmation. You people will let me know if I'm in the wrong or whatever. If I mispronounce or I don't get a quote right or an event or something, you'll let me know. So that's great. And after working so hard, at this job, and when I was first hired in community back and forth to Burbank and everything, I kind of lost touch and everything, but I'm trying to get back on the track. And housing first works. Proof. Now, last year when I got hired and I was working in the Burbank store, training at the Burbank store, and I was working like overnight. So I was working wee hours and everything, and I was already housed and everything by the time I was working. So I'm exposed to the cold and everything, and I didn't really get too sick. Even actually coming here to La Cañada, I barely got sick. Maybe a mild cold that lasted for a couple days. Day and a half at most. I didn't have to buy any over-the-counter medication or anything. And I remember the year before when I was working at Sugarfish, how you folks know that, I was getting sick. I had pneumonia like 2 or 3 times. I had the flu about 2 or 3 times. Living out on the streets, I was always sick. I was in and out of the emergency room a good 3-4 times at least a year, if not more. If I'm not getting beat up, getting my head bashed in or whatever. My health was really going down, and I was really becoming anemic. I was taking prescription iron pills that they had prescribed me, and the iron pills were making me sick. I didn't know that you can get poisoning from taking too much iron every day. So, and I was starting. It makes your face break out. Iron. It's ferrite pills. Yeah, and yeah, they were making me sick. So, and I've been not even housed, not even quite a year, and my overall health, my physical health. You guys don't really recall me ever getting sick or see me posting or a video from the emergency room like I was last time. My mental health, oh my God, my mental health is so much more better. I can think clearer, I can make better decisions, smartlier decisions, that's for sure. I feel, I look in the mirror and it's hard to recognize, the old me pre-homeless, and I thought I had lost that person out on the streets. I guess maybe that person just went into hibernation for a while until things got better, and then maybe that person would resurface. It's kind of hard to explain, but I feel so much better. Physical, mental. I've lost so much weight too. Everybody's at work. They're like, "Damn, Charlie, look at you losing weight." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down to almost a 27, 28. I wear a small shirt. I probably weigh maybe, I want to say between a buck 15 and a buck 25. I haven't weighed myself in quite a while, so I don't know. But housing works. Housing first works. You can't expect someone to be homeless, treat their addiction or their mental illness while they're still homeless, and then promise them housing, and they fail. They don't go to doctor's appointments. They don't go to mental checkups, and then they fail because you're dangling a carrot in front of a homeless person's face, and you can't do that. We're not mules. We're not horses. We're not animals or livestock. We respond positively to positive things. If you keep lying to us and telling us, "Oh, it's going to be there," but first you have to do this. Like going into a church for dinner or whatever, you're homeless. You can have dinner, but you have to listen to the sermon first, or do a prayer or a Bible study with us first. That's not going to work. You don't do that because you're not instilling the Word of God into people, forcing them to listen to something when all they are probably is hungry, want to go, eat, and then leave and go back to their spot. So please, organizations, faith-based organizations, stop with the prayer, stop with the sermon, do it afterward. Feed these poor, hungry souls and give them what they need. Toiletries or clothes, whatever, but start with their necessities first, and then after they've been fed or given whatever goodies or needs that they have to have, then let's say, okay, for those of you that want to stick around, we're going to have a prayer group or whatever. We're going to have a study. Then do that post. Because all you are doing is actually making a homeless person resent God. Because all they're going to say, "Oh, this church did it with that. And then they gave us some crappy prayer. I hate God, blah, 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 blah." All you do is turning what was probably once a good Christian soul into a disbeliever of God. So please, faith-based organizations for the homeless, please do not start with prayer. Take care of the homeless person's needs first, and then let's bring out the religion to them, because that's what they need first. I mean, I understand the Salvation Army started like that, but it's not the way it is anymore. A person, maybe like me, is not going to be so happy or faith-based or as positive and as joyous and maybe going to be allowed to have the water roll off the back like I can. But I'm me. I'm not you, or you. We're all different. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And Jeremy, thank you so much. God, I love you. Thank you so much, brother. Whenever you guys make a comment, it's an affirmation to me that I'm doing something correct. So, and I'm going to try to get on my Patreon. I have a Patreon page, but I never really rolled it out. I rolled it out a little bit, but I'm going to have to go back this weekend and touch it up, because it was when I was totally dedicated working with the pastor. and for the homeless sector, and I never really got anything out of it. But it was still early with my YouTube days, so I'm gonna try to go back this weekend and retune it, and hopefully sometime later in the week I will put up a link going to my YouTube channel, and I gotta take away the GoFundMe thing, and I appreciate for those of you who've donated to the GoFundMe, but it's time for the GoFundMe to go away. It served its purpose. It never reached its limit, which is okay because I put the limit on beyond something, hopefully, that I would get in before I even hit that limit, or even halfway. So for those of you that have in the past, and you've done a lot, especially Mark, donated to my GoFundMe, thank you so much. But it's time it goes away. So and it's time to move on with life and everything. So not that looking back isn't a bad thing, but I do need to concentrate on my future. And then secondary, just underneath me, most secondary, as far as right now in the immediacy, is to help with the homeless situation, especially in the summer. So keep those questions and those comments coming in. If you need to ask me something that I can help you with, then by all means. In the meantime, the great state of California, the great nation of the United States. Politicians, please, let's take the weekend off. Let's play nice. Let's not get too drunk and say anything stupid. Let's not say anything bad or negative to the president. And Mr. President, please, let's curb our comments also, and our twittering too. How old are you, sir? I'm 53, and I've been homeless several times, and I don't do dumb things like that. So please, sir, I beg you, just chill out this weekend, okay? Enjoy your family and our country's festivities. So anyway, my friends, with that, I will take my leave and I will let you go. So you folks take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourselves first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other, help one another. Don't take today for granted or any other day thereafter. Live for the moment, pull down your pants, and slide on the ice. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button. Tell your friends and family about me, about us, and what's going on. And remember, you're a great part of this too. You've helped encourage me. You've motivated me financially, emotionally, every possible aspect that a human being could ask. You folks have been there. You folks have been there more than my wife had in the past. So. Oh, Holly. Oh, Holly. I hope you have a good weekend and you're not being silly. All right, my friends. I will post this when I get home. And until then, I'm probably going to... I don't know what time it is now. But I got some time to kill and going to work. I love you all. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, also, someone that I know is really doing a good job. Mr. Derek, running for Oakland mayor. I hope he does it. He's got a good recognition today. I'm going to see if I can't find it, post a link. This man has done so much for the homeless community also in Oakland, and he's being recognized as a homeless person by the community. So I'm going to try and see if I can't find that link and post it for you. Hopefully, he'll win. We'll see. Great changes. It's time for great changes. I love you all. Take care and have a beautiful Friday and a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow.